She did this! Your sister!
No, you did this! This is all because of you!
You pathetic piece of shit.
Yo, what an episode. Oh my god. Walter Flynn is dead. Paulie's dead. I mean, I kind of had a little bit of a suspicion. I was just like, I think Paulie and Walter Flynn might actually... I had that thought. I really did. I had that thought. But then when Walter died, I was just like, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense because Walter was really testing Vic's patience. He was just like, listen, you don't have the balls to do this. You ain't no real man. And then Vic showed him. But then you saw that Claudia, she didn't warn Vic. And she tried to have Vic killed because since Doyle told Claudia, because Claudia was talking, she was just like, yeah, she wanted to have plans on how she was going to run the family. And then he tells her, he like, well, technically you can't really run the family because in Dublin, they want Vic to run the family. So I was just like, well, technically, because he's still a man and they don't want a female to run anything. They want it to be only Vic to run it. So she's just like, all right, I'm just gonna have my own brother killed. I'm like, yo, Claudia. I mean, as we see when she was like on top of Doyle and she was having sex with him and she was looking at the mirror, so it was just like, well, you're doing this act with a man that you don't really love and you just exploiting him for like information at this point. But she's not, I wouldn't say that she doesn't like what she's becoming. It's more like she's becoming that person. She's becoming like a female Walter, but just in her own way, right? And I'm just like, damn. And then we see like in the beginning where like Tommy's talking with D-Mac and about the whole situation, about like, you basically messed up. You literally messed up, and he's just like, all right, I'm gonna handle this. And I kind of like how Diamond and Tommy was talking about this, where he was just like, well, if you can't handle it, then I'm gonna handle it. And I like that dynamic because basically Tommy throughout this entire season, he was threatening to kill Jenard, and he was deliberately telling Diamond like, listen man, if you don't handle this, then I'm gonna handle it. I kind of like that dynamic where they don't mind killing each other's family because since they're business partners. So I'm like, I guess I was getting that vibe from Diamond, like he like, listen, if you don't handle this, like I gotta. And I was just like, okay. But as we seen like later on, where D-Mac still wasn't listening, and then when Kate was basically like, undermining Tommy's orders, so he's just like, all right, got Big Smurf and his other partner with him, and then that's when they kind of like kidnapped D-Mac and they took him to, I guess, some academy, some school, I guess outside of Chicago or whatever, or somewhere in Chicago. Well, yeah, I guess it's probably like maybe outside of Chicago or whatever. And I'm just like, where have I seen this before? I'm like, where have I seen this before? Where somebody tried to change somebody's life and boy didn't listen, and he chose this. He wanted to sell drugs and teach me the game. I just felt like I seen this from somewhere. And he didn't listen, and he killed his father at the end. I just felt like I seen this story from somewhere. I just can't put my finger on it. But man, I was just like, okay. And then we got to see like Diamond and Jenard's dad, where the father was really more strict on Diamond because he was saying that technically Jenard wasn't really built for this life, because the story says it all, where it's just like, yeah, Jenard had like a really big future, like he was gonna go to college, he was gonna do all of this, like he had like a big future, but it was just when Diamond went in, he had Jenard step up, and he was just like, well, now it's going to be Jenard's turn to like take over and handle like CBI while Diamond was away in prison. So, and it seems like the dads favored Jenard more than Diamond, because he was just like, because he told him at the end, he was just like, yeah, because Jenard can't really handle this life, so I really wanted you to like man up and you take care of him, and all these responsibilities that he had for Diamond. So I was okay with that. And then Jenard's all types of high and shit, so he coming into the hospital all looking all disheveled and fucked up and shit. And that's when they was talking about the beef that they had, and that's when you see where Diamond says like, well, you could be welcomed back into CBI. So I'm like, well, I don't know how Tommy gonna handle it, because we seen it in the beginning of it where you saw like Jenard basically go over to like Diamond's territory, well, his turf, and then that's when he robbed a female of a chain and stolen like 2 bricks. And then he comes back with it, and then one of his men notices that and was just like, wait a minute, isn't that, so-and-so's chain? And he was just like, nah, nigga, just shut up, man. I got the bricks. And I'm like, uh-oh. They're already looking at Jenard sideways, and it's just going to make it even more worse, because they like, well, technically you stole these bricks from Diamond, and I mean, Diamond gonna hear about this and be like, well, technically, yeah, you stole this. And I think that Jenard is just gonna weasel his way into Diamond's business. It's more, I don't really see it as more of a, okay, he comes back into CBI or whatever. I think it's just gonna be, okay, I'm back into CBI. I'm gonna take his territory and then give it to Merkovich. Because Merkovich did tell him in the beginning, he's just like, I want these territories, I want this block, so you're gonna have to give it to me. So I think that's what I see Jenard actually doing. I guess he's gonna try to like weasel his way in and probably might just steal Diamond's territory and then give it to Merkovich. That's what I see. But I mean, if they do decide to like reconcile like differences, then sure. But I really do see Jenard coming in and just taking Diamond's territory and then giving it to Merkovich. That's what I see. Right. And then we got Mireya and her ex-boyfriend, right? And you know how that old saying goes, gentlemen. Y'all know how that old saying goes, where if a female is feeling you, right, and she got a guy on the side or whatever, and she just, some things happen, and she just like, all right, calling off, the relationship because things isn't working out and whatever. And as we seen at the not at the end, but like later on, where Miguel saw this, he was just like, well, he putting his hands on her. Nah, I gotta go see him later. And he just basically broke both his hands. I was like, okay. But man, but Vic, I gotta go back to Vic, because Vic was like, where was the episode Crown Vic, where he basically came along at the end with Stacy and was talking to her. He was like, I give you Claudia because she tried to have me killed. But Stacy like, nah, son. Give me Tommy. She got the hot, well, I wouldn't say hot. She's just basically hard on for Tommy because she figures if she could use Tommy to bring down all these organizations and all these gangs, then it'll work. But I'm like, Stacy, you don't understand Tommy. Tommy dealt with this before, and he basically won. Well, I shouldn't say he won by himself, but it was more like with the help of Ghost and his planning. So it's just like Tommy dealt with this before. But here's the thing. CBI potentially is going to have like 2 rats, where you're going to have Vic that's going to be like moseling his way in to try to like, help out the law enforcement to bring down Tommy, right? But then at the same time, you're going to have Jenard, and we don't know where Jenard alliances and his allegiances is going to stand, and you can't really trust Jenard either. So it's not going to be looking quite good for CBI. It's really not. And then on top of that too, the real question is, will Vic actually survive, and will Claudia actually survive? Because it's more of, I think Tommy's going to be put in a dilemma. He still want revenge for Liliana, but then at the same time, you're going to have Vic that's going to be moseling his way into CBI, getting much information as possible, so that way Stacy could come after Tommy. So I'm like, well, it's not, I mean, either way, I think Tommy would just have them both killed, to be honest. I mean, kill Vic and then kill Claudia. Like, I mean, he wouldn't even care, like, regardless. Like, they both would basically catch a bullet. So, I mean, shit, the whole Flynn family can actually die this entire season, the way it's looking. Because I was like, damn, like, Walter, he killed Walter, and then Paulie. I was like, damn. But as we seen, like, yeah, Claudia's moving on her own. She's trying to, like, take everything for herself, and she wants to be the one in control of things. But I'm like, her ambition is going to probably get her killed, either by Tommy, maybe by Vic. We just don't know what's going to happen. But damn, man, this episode was really good. It was good because I'm like, yo, we got some interesting things that's, like, progressed in the story, where now that Vic is going to be the CI and the one that's going to try to bring down, Tommy and everybody else. But I'm just like, well, we're just going to have to, like, wait and see on what he's actually going to do on that matter. and then Kate's back on the drugs because she's so heartbroken about the whole D-Mac situation, but D-Mac did it to himself. But we know D-Mac, he's going to try to figure his way to come back to Chicago despite killing a cop, right? And I like how JP was getting upset at Tommy because he was just like, technically, this is your fault. Tommy takes half the blame for it, but then JP also takes half the blame as well. And then D-Mac takes half the blame as well. So everybody is at fault. Everybody's at fault. But D-Mac was raised in the streets, though. So you can't really get it out of him. He was raised in the streets, and that technically was his life. Even though he's, Tommy desperately trying to save him, ultimately something could happen to D-Mac if he doesn't play his cards correctly. As Tommy was trying to explain to JP about it. Like, if he doesn't get D-Mac out of here, then everybody gets killed. So yeah. But comment down below what you guys think of this episode. I got some videos coming soon, and that's pretty much it. So like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I catch you all in the next one.